It's Amy Dove, the Keto Queen. I hope you're having a great day. It's Monday. I had a really busy day, but a great day. I had started off the day with a lot of pampering, so I got my hair colored, I got my fingernails done, and then I went to work. And tonight we are going to have some good conversation. So as you're jumping on, I'd love to know where you're watching from and if you're catching this live or if you're watching the replay. So if it's live, there's a little red box at the top. And if it's live, then great. If you're watching the replay and comments, say, I'm catching the replay. I'm just curious where you guys watching from and if you're catching me live. So I have been telling you guys about this book I'm reading. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And so many people said, I don't want to change who I am. I love myself. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you love yourself. I love myself too. But that's not really what the book's about. It's not about you needing to be somebody else or you needing to change who you are, because I agree, God made us who we are, right? But God has a plan for us. And this book is actually all about science, but it really is backed up to exactly what I've always learned from reading the Bible and going to my Bible studies. So I am really excited about this book. And I'm not going to give you lots of information. It really is good. I want you to know it is a book about science and all about the brain and how we can actually change the way we move and the way we think in our futures if we understand that we can control our thoughts and we can control what happens to us in the future based on our thoughts and our feelings. So yes, I know that's a lot. That's a lot. But I really have gotten a takeaway from this over the weekend, and I really want to give you some little bit of goodness from this book. So it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. It's written by Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is a physician. And if you guys have read this book, I would love to know. Just watch the Keto Lady. Interesting. Hey, Julie, how are you? So I wonder what the Keto Lady was talking about. Tonight, we're talking just a little bit about this book I'm reading and a little takeaway that I've gotten from it. Now, there's a lot of good stuff in this book. It's all about the mind, how we can actually break free from our past. And that's the thing. It's not about changing who you are as a person. It's about changing who you want to be, like changing the trajectory of your future. For example, if you have so many thoughts about past problems, past traumas, past mistakes, past sins, because we're all sinners, like I've been here, like you've been focused on these past mistakes, past sins, past traumas, past things that have happened in your life, and they are past. They really are past. Like they happened 10 years ago, they happened 5 years ago, they happened 2 years ago, they happened 5 months ago. Like it's past, it's in the past. But we honestly are still living in it today because our thoughts control our future. And guys, I love this because I learned so much. Oh, she was making a sweet treat. That's awesome. Okay, so anyhow, what I really learned from this book this weekend is really thinking about the past. So, and what I want in the future. So I'm going to give you a really good example. Our brain is just like a computer and God made it. So God made our bodies and they are so intricate. Like every little piece of our body and our brain is so intricate. It truly amazes me to think about how in the world God spoke us into existence. And the fact that now this book is not a Christian book. It's not a spiritual book. I'm just telling you, it's amazing to me to think about how God created us from words. He created us from the dust, right? He created us into this amazing, intricate machine. Like our body is a machine. Our brain is a computer. It tells everything in our body what to do. So I think it's really cool to know that, first of all. And the fact that what we focus on and where our energy lies is where we are going. And this is so true. Everything in the Bible tells me that God made us to live abundantly. He made us to be happy. He made us to live in joy and peace and calmness, and like we're supposed to be the happiest people on the earth. We're supposed to like have all these things. We're supposed to live in abundance of joy and peace and wealth. Like we're supposed to be a species living in abundance, right? But that's just not the case because so many of us get hung up on what has happened to us in our past and we just can't move in the future. This book is called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Now I'm not even a third of the way through it. I still got a lot to go, but I've got a really good takeaway that I really want to share with you guys. And I don't have a lot of time to talk because I'm meeting my husband. So let me just tell you, our brain is a computer, right? And I don't think that we all understand energy. Like you hear people say all the time, like, I don't want that energy around me. And I always thought people were wacko by saying that. Like, I feel the energy. You know, I hear people say, no, I feel a presence here. I feel, negativity here. But it's true. Like, do you ever walk into a group conversation and you just feel like, oh, like, do I really want to step into that conversation? Like, do I really want to engage in this conversation? Like, that's energy. The energy you hear from me usually is always positive and energetic, right? That's why I'm so positive and energetic, because I put off this energy and I keep this energy for myself. Does not mean I'm perfect. Hear me out. I'm not perfect at all. I still have my mind stuck in a lot of past trauma, past mistakes, past things. So let me just tell you, this book tells us that if we confuse our brain by the way we think and the way we feel, then we're just living in a state of confusion and we cannot move past. We can't grow. We can't move. For example, let's say that you guys really want to, do you really want a strong marriage? Like you really want to have a strong marriage, and that to you looks like sitting down and having dinner with your spouse and sitting down and having conversations with your spouse and going on date night and just being able to hold hands and feel some emotion. Like, do you want a strong marriage? That's the question. This is an example of what I've learned from this book. So you may want a strong marriage. You see those things. Like you see holding your husband's hand in a movie and going out to dinner and having conversations and getting a morning hug. I mean, those are basic things in a relationship, but so many of us do not have that, right? Not me. I'm very lucky, but that doesn't mean it's always been that way, right? So you know what you want, but let's talk about how you feel. When you see your spouse come through the door and you're like, oh, there he is again. I wonder if he's going to be in a good mood. Or, oh, I cannot believe he said that to me this morning. Or, oh my gosh, like, you always, every time you see him, no matter what you want, you think about something that he did to hurt you. And guys, we're not perfect. My husband has hurt me. I have hurt him. We're not perfect. But if every time we see that person or we go to bed and we say we've forgiven them, we say we're forgiving them, we say we're moving past, but in reality, when we go to bed the next morning, we wake up and we're like, yep, today's going to be a better day, until you see your spouse. And then all of the flood of memory, the hurt feelings come right back to your brain and you stay in that constant thought. Guys, if your brain is thinking the negative, if your brain is thinking all of the things that your spouse has done to you, all the words your spouse has said to you, all the hurt feelings your spouse has put onto you, then there's no way you're ever going to have the marriage you want. Because you may feel like you want it. Your body is like, yes, I want it. I really want it. I see it. But your brain is saying, no. He's hurt you. He's going to hurt you again. He's going to say bad things to you. Guys, you just can't keep in a state of confusion to get the things you want. You have to think good things. You have to feel good things. You have to put the energy towards the good things. Everything can change. You can change anything in your future as long as your mind is set there, your heart is set there, and the energy is there. But you can't stay in a state of confusion and get the things you want. So this was just a really great takeaway that I got. Now, the book is not talking about marriage. There's lots of great things in this book, but it actually says if your intentions and desires haven't produced consistent results, you've probably been sending an incoherent mixed message into the field. The field is energy. You may want wealth. You think wealthy thoughts, but if you feel poor, you aren't going to attract financial abundance to yourself. Why not? Because thoughts are the language of the brain and feelings are the language of the body. When you're thinking one way and feeling another way, and when your mind is in opposition to the body or vice versa, the energy won't respond in any consistent way. Instead, when your mind and body are working together, when our thoughts and feelings are aligned, when we are in a new state of being, thinking, energy, feeling, then we are sending a coherent signal onto the airwaves of the invisible. So I know this sounds crazy when you read it that way, but when you read this book, it really all makes sense. It all goes back to exactly what I've always learned in Bible study, and that is that we have to move past the past. You can't stay in it. You can't ask for forgiveness and then think about it all the time. We really need to practice how to move past those thoughts. So I'm really excited about getting further into the book. I really like it. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I know it's backwards. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've read a lot of good books. And this is one thing that Prove It has taught me a lot about, is just making sure that we stay in the state of good thoughts. Because if you create a state of good thoughts and you keep your mind on those good thoughts, good things happen. And our body is truly addicted to emotion. I don't know if you guys know this, but your body is addicted to emotion. So if you're constantly thinking about that spouse, it doesn't matter what you want to feel. If you're thinking the bad things, the past, the hurt feelings, the bad words, the abuse, whatever it is, like if you're thinking those things, it doesn't matter what you want to feel. Your brain and your body are a machine. And if you're constantly thinking about the past, then you're always bringing those feelings back up, no matter how you want to feel. You can't change unless you change the way you think. So no matter what you want, you've got to move your energy. You got to move your thoughts to those things you want. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all. Are so sweet. I hope y'all are listening. I appreciate it. I love my hair. I wish I could make it look like this tomorrow. It will not be looking like this. Everybody goes to their beautician and they make you look gorgeous, and then you leave there and you're like, now how'd she do that? Like, I don't know how she did that. You try to watch intently to find out how she did it so you can do it. It's impossible. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. I really hope that you can get something from that. This book is not about marriage. It's not about divorce. It's not about anything like that. It's not about the Bible, but everything I think of and read, I really can correlate right back to what God tells us. And this book is no different. So even though it's talking about science, science just proves. Science just proves all the things, right? You can use science to try to fight things, but science just proves all the things. So I love this book. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. The first chapter is it's all about science. So, I had to read it a couple of times. I probably didn't even get it all. It's talking about atoms and particles and all those things, but it makes sense. So if you're interested in it, I highly recommend it so far. And guys, I got to get off here. I've got some plans. I got to get some dinner with my husband. I did not shop, so we're fixing to run to the store and grab us some stuff, come back and mix some things up and just spend some time together since I was out this weekend. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, share all of the videos. I really hope you guys do share the videos. If I've ever been any help to you, I want to help others. If you're watching the replay, put replay. The red box is gone if you're watching a replay. Bye, guys.